Why does society keep putting fools, clowns, and incompetent leaders in power? Aristotle answered this thousands of years ago, and his warning is more true today than ever. He said that the people rarely choose the wisest leader, not because they don't want wisdom, but because wisdom is quiet, and society listens only to the loud. The truth is simple. The most competent people are too busy working. They're building, thinking, raising families, solving real problems. They don't crave attention. They don't chase applause. They don't fight for the throne. But the incompetent? They run toward power with everything they've got. They want the spotlight. They want validation. They want the feeling of importance more than the responsibility of leadership. Aristotle noticed something dangerous. People confuse confidence with intelligence, passion with competence, and charisma with truth. The fool speaks boldly, the wise speak carefully, and the crowd, stressed, distracted, overwhelmed, chooses the one who sounds certain, even if he has no idea what he's talking about. Aristotle said, "The mob is easily deceived, not because it is foolish, but because it is busy. People work long hours. People are tired. People don't have time to analyze every promise, so they go with whoever makes life sound simpler. And that's the perfect environment for idiots to rise. Offer simple answers. Blame someone else. Speak loud. Look strong. Never admit doubt. Never admit complexity. The wise avoid power because they understand its weight. The foolish chase it because they don't. And so society repeats the same mistake, choosing performers over thinkers, entertainers over strategists, noise over wisdom. But Aristotle gave one final warning. The quality of the leadership reflects the quality of the citizens. Idiots in power aren't a glitch in the system. They are a mirror, a reflection of what the people reward, what the people tolerate, and what the people allow. If society wants better leaders, it must become better itself.
Nietzsche believed that when a society grows weak, tired, and comfortable, it no longer seeks greatness. It seeks distraction, and in that moment, the rise of fools becomes inevitable. He wrote that modern people fear responsibility more than they fear corruption. They don't want a leader who challenges them. They want someone who protects their illusions, comforts their anxiety, and asks nothing of their spirit. So the throne is handed not to the strongest soul, but to the one who flatters the herd. Nietzsche warned of the last man, a human being who avoids difficulty, avoids depth, avoids truth. The last man wants pleasure without purpose, safety without sacrifice. Such a person rejects wise leadership because wisdom demands effort. It demands growth. It demands confronting one's own weakness. A fool, however, demands none of these things. He offers entertainment instead of vision, noise instead of discipline, emotion instead of truth, and the crowd welcomes him because he makes their mediocrity feel normal. Nietzsche believed the deeper poison was ressentiment, the resentment the weak feel toward the strong. People resent those who rise above them, those who speak hard truths, those who stand alone. The crowd instinctively hates the exception because excellence exposes their own lack of courage, but they love the fool. The fool is familiar. He mirrors their fears, their limits, their hidden bitterness. He demands no inner transformation. And so the masses crown him, not because he leads them to greatness, but because he never reminds them of what greatness requires. This is the triumph of the herd. The herd follows the loudest voice, not the highest mind. Nietzsche wrote that in crowds, madness becomes the rule, and the performer always wins over the philosopher. His final verdict is brutally simple. A society that cannot govern itself will always kneel to the one who governs its weakness. A culture that fears strength will always elevate mediocrity. A people who reject truth will always follow the liar, and a world that worships comfort will always be ruled by fools.
Why society will always lift fools to power. Seneca lived in a Rome collapsing under its own weight. A world ruled not by wisdom, but by appetite, vanity, and spectacle. In the shadows of that dying empire, he discovered a truth darker than tyranny itself. Society does not fear the fool in power, it creates him. People don't want wisdom, they want escape. Seneca wrote that men suffer more in imagination than in reality. The crowd fears hunger, fears uncertainty, fears responsibility. So much that they will follow anyone who offers relief. The wise demand that people grow. The fool demands only obedience, and obedience feels easier. Seneca warned, the mob follows not what is true but what soothes. The soothing voice wins, even when it lies, especially when it lies, spectacle becomes more important than substance. Seneca saw a horrifying pattern. The more a society craves entertainment, the less it values character. So the throne falls not to the disciplined, not to the rational, not to the wise, but to the performer, the one who can distract the crowd from the rot under their own skin. Seneca said, a people sick with amusement cannot judge a man's virtue. In such a world, competence is invisible, but noise becomes power. Weak souls seek leaders who reflect their flaws. Seneca believed that a leader is always a mirror. If the people are greedy, they will choose a greedy leader. If the people are angry, they will choose a vengeful leader. If the people are frightened, they will choose a tyrant. He wrote, the corrupted call corruption strength. That is why fools rise. The crowd does not seek what is right. They seek what resembles them. A chaotic society cannot recognize a stable leader. A poisoned society cannot recognize a pure one. A fearful society cannot recognize a free one. The death of thinking gives birth to the fool. Seneca saw that the crowd does not think. It reacts, it follows emotion, not truth. And the fool knows how to inflame emotion. Anger, resentment, excitement, fear. The crowd runs to the loudest voice, even when that voice leads them to ruin. The wise speak slowly, carefully, with restraint. But restraint is not seductive. Noise is. The people themselves create the tyrant. In Seneca's darkest writings, he makes one brutal claim. No tyrant rules unwilling people. Seneca believed society collapses not from the top, but from within, from millions of small choices. To avoid responsibility, avoid growth, avoid truth, the fool merely finishes the job. The crowd began. The executioner is elected long before he acts. Seneca's conclusion was merciless. People choose their destroyer. Long before he draws his blade, they create him. With their apathy, with their distractions, with their cravings, with their fears. The fool in power is not a mistake. He is a mirror held up to a society that has forgotten virtue. And until people learn discipline, until they choose truth over comfort, thought over impulse, virtue over spectacle, they will continue to kneel before anyone loud enough to hide their own emptiness.